So, good morning, friends. Uh, I feel
Good
very
morning,
privileged
sir.
to introduce our guest today. He is Professor Khalid Azam Saab, Senior Most Professor in Department of Business Administration, Aligarh Muslim University. Sir served in various capacities. He served as Dean Faculty of Management Studies and Research. He served as Chairman, Department of Business Administration. He has done his PhD in Management, MBA, Faculty Development Program for IIM Ahmedabad. Sir has a very rich experience of almost 40 years. He has an international experience. He served for 5 years in Oman. He has trained many teachers. He is a trainer of trainers, teacher of teachers. His area of interest includes sales management, marketing management, consumer behavior. He has organized almost 25 conferences, which include 6 international conferences. He presented papers in many conferences. He is chairman, Department of Business Administration, Aligarh Muslim University, and his CV runs into pages. Sir, with great respect and honor, I welcome you to Manu for giving your precious time. Sir, we have a mixed audience of commerce and management, and most of the participants are from degree and PG colleges, and few participants are from university system also. And with respect and honor, I request you, sir, to take over the session. Sir will speak on research today.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
very much. Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Sarvati sir.
Thank you, sir.
See, to the participants now, uh, I have a plan for, because I am having 1 hour and 30 minutes time, and we know that research is the integral component of our job. Why we say it is an integral component? Because most of the time we find that we have either left the job of guiding or conducting research, or after doing our PhD degree, we have thought that okay, now our job for research job is over. But this is not the correct situation. Those who are teaching in PG or the degree colleges and those who are teaching in the university system, because they are also the PG colleges and the degree colleges, they are the part of university system. And university system requires so many things, and in that case, just 1 minute, 1 minute. Sorry for disturbance, sir.
No, no, sir.
So, in case of university system, there are two major tasks with which we are involved. One task we remember, but the other task generally we forget. One is the dissemination.
सर थोड़ा वॉइस आपका ब्रेक हो रहा है. Sir just called. There is some technical problem. So he will be joining within a couple of minutes. So dear friends, regarding our evaluation system, next week we will have our evaluation. What I have planned is we will have a written test in the last week, one written test, one seminar presentation we have, and in this presentation, I am giving an open option to all the participants that you can speak on a topic of your own choice, and you will be given 2 minutes time to present on the topic. Okay, seminar presentation, and one more is MRP submission. Today morning, I have posted that ICSSR minor research project proposals invitation. So from that, you can take the format of the project proposal and just fill in the format and submit to the email ID. Today evening, I will give you the email ID. Next week by, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday is okay, no? Next week by Wednesday, you submit the minor research project proposal. Okay.
Sir,
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
sir, actually we have already prepared and the project is
Okay.
ongoing, sir. Not by me, one of my, who was my main principal investigator. I was the co-investigator.
Fine.
So can we
Okay.
submit the same?
Actually,
Actually, we
What
had
we
only
are-
prepared, sir. We had only prepared it.
बराबर
But
okay, it's okay.
Because क्या हुआ,
जी.
being in a government college, I was told
हाँ,
that
हाँ.
I cannot be part of that project. So
हाँ.
that because we are not registered under 12B.
Okay.
So that's why I
आप
left
एक
it
नया
out.
बना लो ना,
ठीक है सर, कोई बात नहीं,
हाँ?
कोई बात नहीं.
एक 2-4 पेज का, क्योंकि अब हम प्रपोजल पूछ रहे हैं ना मैडम,
हाँ ठीक
थोड़ा
है,
सा, हाँ,
ठीक है.
या उसी को आप प्रपोजल के टाइप में सबमिट कर दीजिए, थोड़ा सा
हाँ,
ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को रिडिफाइन करके,
ओके
थोड़ा ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को, स्कोप को थोड़ा सा रिडिफाइन कर दीजिए.
ओके सर, डन.
तो ये सेशंस हम जो रख रहे हैं ना, दिस सेशंस व्हाई वी आर कीपिंग इट, बिकॉज टू गेट a good idea how to prepare a research proposal. Tomorrow also we will have one lecture on research methodology from a professor of IIM.
Right.
Tomorrow I think, tomorrow.
Who sir from IIM?
Tomorrow from IIM Jammu is Professor Jabir Ali.
Yes.
IIM Jammu. He is a very renowned professor. So we want to call some professors from IIM Kozhikode also, but we will see if they are available. So these are the 3-4 things what I want to discuss. One is that we will have a written test. One is we will have a seminar presentation. And seminar presentation, I am not enforcing any topic upon you. You speak on the topic of your interest, okay? But related to commerce or management, we will give a very precise time of 2 to 3 minutes only, because we have 73 participants. And one is we have minor research project proposal submission, okay? So just prepare the proposal and submit it. I will give an email ID to you also. On that email ID, in the subject, you write your name and this refresher course batch. Okay. And one is your attendance and this type of things. Okay,
Sir,
friends.
we have to submit the seminar.
Sir, very good morning, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm Dr. Jayaprasad, representing in Karnataka.
Okay, sir.
Sir.
Okay,
Sir,
sir.
I have a small doubt, sir. Regarding with this morning, you sent it with the ICSSR some link already sent.
Yes.
But in earlier, we are attending with the FIP program in Mysore as well as Ramanujan College in New Delhi.
Okay.
There is some proposal is there. Can it possible to resend it? I slightly make it in was there corrections and everything. Can it possible to send it with the same thing, or it should be go for entire change it?
No problem, sir. But you send a proposal, okay?
Yes, sir. Proposal only, sir.
No. You send a proposal. It's better because we are giving it for the for easy making of the participants, so it will be easy for them. So it is better you prepare in ICSSR format. Otherwise, if you have some prescribed format by any government institution, you can send it. No problem.
Hello, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir has already joined.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. आ रही है सर आवाज. सर आप अनम्यूट करिए सर.
Okay, sir.
So the resource person already joined. I think he's asked sir to. सर अनम्यूट करिए सर, अनम्यूट। वहां पे का अनम्यूट का बटन है सर, बस।
ओके, अब आ रही है आवाज? चलिए ठीक है, ओके। अभी देखिए स्लाइड चल रहा नहीं चल रहा है?
स्लाइड सर अभी
एक मिनट,
फिर एक बार करिए सर।
एक बार देखिए स्लाइड। चलिए एक मिनट मैं देखता हूँ।
इसको स्टॉप करके फिर से प्रेजेंट करिए सर।
हाँ मुझे लग रहा है कि फिर जो है
आ गया सर, आ गया सर,
आ गया। ओके ओके, तो
इसको स्लाइड शो करिए सर।
हाँ इसलिए मैंने उसको स्टॉप कर दिया।
चला आप स्लाइड के ऊपर जाइए सर। हाँ, तो क्लिक करके स्लाइड पे क्लिक करिए सर।
एक मिनट, तो स्लाइड में चला गया, पता नहीं कहाँ। जस्ट 1 मिनट प्लीज। आगे स्लाइड नहीं आया
सर? आ रहा सर।
अच्छा,
अब आ गया सर,
चेंज
आ
भी
गया।
हो रहा है? चलिए चेंज हो रहा है ना? चलिए
जी, आप स्लाइड शो करिए सर।
अच्छा, स्लाइड शो में मैं अभी करता हूँ, इसको देखिए। आ गया?
आ रहा सर, विजिबल सर।
ओके ओके,
परफेक्ट सर, थैंक यू।
See, sorry for interruption because the light that has created problem. I have changed to the other laptop and now I am going to discuss with you. See, I have planned for today, but the time has already been consumed a bit. I would like to give you the brief description about the research. Whatever researches we are conducting for academic purposes, and what are the different approaches and how to conduct literature review. And in that case, the third component which I have planned for today is that how to guide research to the students, because I know most of you have already gone through the process of conducting research. You have got your PhD degree, so there is no problem in that case. So my idea is that as you are working in the PG colleges and the degree colleges, and as the situation is going now with the present time, getting job without PhD degree, that is somewhat difficult, no doubt. They are writing that, okay, you should have master degree, and if you are having NET qualification or JRF NET, then you will be eligible for this. But even after that, we find that it is most of the faculty members who are joining colleges, they are having their PhD degree. But there are few who have not done their job or they are they have not done the PhD. They will be they should be guided that, okay, how this PhD that can be conducted and what should be done. So cutting the story short, I am coming to this academic research process. But before that, I would like to take 4 or 5 minutes to discuss with you what this academic research is and how it is different from the researches which we are conducting in case of businesses. We know that most of the time in marketing or in business situations, the researches are conducted on our customers. We want to know what is their opinion, what is their behavior, what is their attitude, how far they are preferring our brand, how far they are going to, in future they will be purchasing our brand or not. So the researches in case of business, they are a continuous process. And this is coming from the organization. Those organizations which are involved in the business, they are taking help from different agencies. So many advertising agencies, they are also having the research wing and competent, efficient people related with the research, they are maintaining. And scientifically, they are conducting research, and that research is helping the people in getting results from there. And based on that, they are going to take decisions. This part, whatever I have discussed so far, it is the applied research, what we call business research or the applied research. But whatever we are conducting in academic institution, there is a difference between the two. Our research is not applied research. No doubt, after conducting research, we are writing that, okay, this will be used in this manner, this will be used by the government, this will be used by the local bodies, this will be used by the municipal corporation, depending upon the type of research, whatever we have conducted. This is the indicative part of the research we are mentioning there. But if you are going to see the academic research and the business research or the applied research, there are many differences which are there. And we have to understand those differences. Because if you have understood these differences, they will be helping you in conducting research, in guiding research, in getting the research published, either in the book form or in the research paper form. That understanding we will have to have in the beginning. And this in the understanding that should also be discussed with the candidate. If suppose somebody is going to join as a research scholar with you, then he should also understand that. Now I am coming to this, the few questions they are there, and the answers they will also be put before you. Is academic research different from business research? The answer is yes, there is a difference. Because they are not the same. There are many things which are making them different. It is now what is the difference? There is one very important part which is going to help us in understanding. It is the question of rigor versus relevance. Now see, rigor and the relevance. Here in case of understanding of the difference, this is the very important part that we have to take into account. I am giving you a very brief idea where from this idea of rigor and relevance that has come. In 1956, a journal which is still going on, that is being published, and the coveted journal in case of administrative science, that was the first issue in 1956. And there were two articles. One was the editorial of that issue, and there was one article also. The editorial and article both were written by the same person because he was the editor and he has written the article. And he has mentioned in his editorial about that. The name of the journal, it is Administrative Science Quarterly, ASQ. Most of us will be knowing about this because this is the journal which is dealing with the administration and the researchers in administration. So it's a very highly reputed journal in administrative sciences. So in 56 they have started to publish it. They said that our researchers, whatever we are going to, because that is a part of academic research, our researchers should be more rigorous in their approach. Maybe the results not that much relevant. Rigor is more important in case of academic researchers. The result, whatever you are getting after those rigor, that may be applicable, that may not be applicable. Now you will say that what is this? Then why are you conducting research? The question here is not that we are conducting research just for the sake of conducting it. The purpose of our research, the academic research, is that how much amount of rigorous applications you have made in your research, that is the basis of our judgment. Any research paper which is coming for publication purposes, we will have to see what is the element of rigor involved in that particular research. Now the question is, what is this rigor that will be developed or that will be coming in the later stage? At the end, I will tell you what this rigor is. Now see, coming to the question, the difference. And I have clubbed these two together. so that you can see the difference very easily. Academic research, we say that it is more rigorous than relevant. Our idea about academic research is this. Business research is more problem solving. So then rigor, it is, I think this relevance is not the correct here. It is more problem solving than the rigorous part. So business research is problem solving research, whereas the academic research is a rigorous research. Now, the origin of this gap is in the assumption of academic practitioners. They have fundamentally different frame of reference. Because in this case, their idea, their understanding, they, as compared to the business research people, they are not same. So the origin of this gap is in the assumption of academic and the practitioners. Business research people, business people, they are the practitioners. But academicians, they are not going to practice it. They are the people who are going for the fundamental aspects of their study. So their nature, their working, their understanding, they will be different. So that part has been considered here. The difference exists with reference to the goals they seek to influence. What is that? The goal in case of academic research and the goal in case of business research. They are different. So the difference exists with reference to the goals they seek to influence, the social system in which they operate, the variables they attempt to manipulate, and acceptable time frame to address the problem. So the acceptable time frame, the variables, whatever we are going to check and we are going to manipulate in terms of independent, dependent variables. So whatever variables we are going to have, they are going to make the differences. The researcher and practitioners, now see here, the researcher and the practitioners, they belong to two separate communities. They are not the part of the same communities or the same the practice side. Their practices are different. In case of academics, their practices are different. In case of business practices, they are different. So the researchers and practitioners belong to two separate communities with very different values and ideologies, and these differences impede utilization also. So these are the background which we are having. Now see here. The academic research, on what we are going to conduct this research, very clear idea we have to have. In academic research, we will be researching on the concept. We are going to research on the theory. We are going to identify different constructs. We are going to research on the different principles. We will be researching on the different models. Those who are related with human resource management, those who are related with the marketing side, and even in case of finance and operations also. We are having different type of models for the purpose of the study. And these models we are going to research. I am giving you a very simple example. We are having, in case of organization behavior, those who are teaching this OB course or the organization behavior course or the psychology for that matter, motivation is there. Okay. We are having different theories related with motivation. Abraham Maslow's theory of hierarchy of needs is there. Okay. So this is one theory which we are going to consider. Two-factor theory. Okay. We are going to have that. So many theories are there which are related with motivation. We are going to study that continuously. This is under study. We are many models they have been developed on the basis of that. So academic research that will be focusing on the different concepts, the theory, constructs, principles, models. What we are doing? We are either going to confirm that okay, whatever models have been developed, they are true or they can be applied in this particular situation, or we are going to contradict that. That okay, this theory, this concept, this idea, or this model that cannot be implemented, that is contradictory to. We are going to collect data, we will be finding that they are going to contradict each other. But in case of business research, what we do, we search the problem and give the solution to solve it. Here we are not going to, okay, what theory is going to be applied, what principles are going to be applied, what model are going to be applied. In case of business research, we are not concerned with that. My sale is coming down for last 3 years. I am going to conduct research, or I am giving this research to the research agency. So my sales are coming down. My product is all right. We have used the state-of-art technology, but the sale has come down. We want to know the reason. And not only that, we also want to know that how the sale that can be increased. So what you are going to do in case of this research, you are going to ask your this research agency that we want to know the reason for decrease in sale, and we would also like to know how the sale that can be increased. So the business research will be conducted, and they will be going to the market, they will be collecting information from the customer, they will know about the preference of the customer, whether it has changed or not, and based on that they will say that, okay, the income of the customer has changed, that's why they are not buying your product, because this is not up to their standard. Okay, or they will say that, okay, the income of the customer they have reduced, so they consider that your product is costly, the competitor's product is better than your product. So in that case, you will have to adjust your product itself. Many things they may be coming from the research itself. So the business research, it is basically related with the problem and its solution. Academic research, there may be problem solution, but our focus, main focus is on whatever we have mentioned in the first part of it. Now see, academic research, it has got long-term implications. It has got long-term. Whenever we are conducting this academic research, it is not that, okay, today we have conducted this and after 6 months or after 1 year, its relevance or its importance or its application or its understanding, that is going to be depleted, or we are, okay, we are not going to take up it further, or it is not viable, or it is not acceptable. It is not like that. Any concept, any theory, any idea you have generated, you have developed, you have got it published, it is going to continue, and many other researches they will also be conducted on that. So academic researches, they are long term, they have got long term implications. Business research, it has got short term application. So implication and application difference is also there. It has got short term application. If suppose you have collected data from the market that your sales have come down during last 3 years, and this you are going to get the data and information related to that and interpretation to that, after 1 year, it will become useless, because by that time many things they have also changed. So it will be the short-term application. Whenever you are facing any problem, okay. Say for example, in case of human resource, you have employed very good people, and you are an engineering firm where the engineers they are being used for the purpose. Say for example, you are a company like Raheja or the company like Gammons, which are constructing huge bridges and colonies and all that. Suppose you have employed so many civil engineers, okay, and you are finding that within 6 months, those competent civil engineers they have left your organization. So what are you going to do? You are going to know about their attitude, why they are leaving, are they not getting the salary, the promotion and all that. So you will be conducting research, and within short time, you have to decide what we have to do, how to retain them. You have gone for this, you have gone for their recruitment, selection, training, development. You have maintained them for 6 months or so. They have worked for that, and after some time, within short period, they have left. So in case of business research, it is short-term application. Now see, in academic research, it is a time-consuming research, because you are going to develop the theory, you are going to develop the model. You have to contradict, or you have to confirm different principles and the concepts. So it is a time-consuming. That's why you will find, in case of academic research, we are going for the researching, and as of now, minimum period for conducting research for PhD degree. I am talking about the PhD degree. For PhD degree, it is 3 years. Business researchers, they are not going to wait for that. They will say that even 3 months is more. Give me the result within 1 month or 2 months, so that I will be implementing it. So business research within limited time. So when it is time consuming, It means that there are certain things which will require additional efforts, which will require additional time. So we will be coming to that. What is that? So this is there. Academic research. Now see here. Statistical tools of higher level, they are applied in case of academic research. Because if you are going to say that, okay, in case of business research, even the percentage will help you. Simple arithmetic, simple percentage, simple giving the idea about the mean, median, mode, the central tendency, that will be helping you in case of business research. This is the percentage of people who have shifted from your product to the competitor's product. Okay, so it is 12% people they have shifted. Okay, what are the reason? Okay, their income has increased or their income has reduced. So even percentage in case of your business research, that will be helping you. And on the basis of that, you will be in a position to take decisions. But in case of academic research, if you are going to prepare, if you are going to do your research, and you have simply applied the percentages, the evaluation of this thesis, that will not be giving you the degree, because they will say that nothing. There is no rigor involved in it. It is simply the percentage, whatever you have calculated. So what is there in case of academic research? It is the statistical tools of higher level. So what are you going to do in that case? For the same type or similar type of situation, you will be applying chi-square test, you are going to apply t-test, you are going to apply ANOVA, you are going to develop the model SEM, the structure equation modeling you are going to do, you are applying correlation, you are applying different type of regression. So the panel regression, this regression, there are a number type of regression, conjoint analysis, cluster analysis, statistical tools of higher level, application of different packages for analysis. So I am using this, what is this? I am using this SPSS, I am using AMOS, I am using eViews, so different type of packages. But in case of business research, they will not ask you, okay, what is this SEM and what is that? I am simply interested, okay, what is the impact of one on the other, finish. Now see, in case of academic research, very important part. The results are open to publication. Whatever you have done, whatever research you have conducted, the result will be open for publication. You are going to get them published. You are going to place them in the journal. Why you are doing that? Because they have to be scrutinized by the people in that particular field. So scrutiny and evaluation by the experts. That's why you are going to place before the general audience, those who are working in that particular field, those who are knowledgeable in that field. And they are going to read that, they are going to check what have you done, and on the basis of that, they will be criticizing you. They are going to evaluate. They will be giving you the comment. So in case of academic research, the researches are open. We are going to publish them so that they should be widely used, and whatever results have come, they should be documented. But in case of business research, it is highly secretive. Whatever has been the reason for reduction in your sale or the employees leaving your organization, you would never like that this information should be released to your competitor or in the other section or in the industry. Why? Because it is going to create a completely negative image about your company. So you are very much secretive once it is coming to the business research. So if you are going to see this difference, and on the basis of that, the type of research whatever we are conducting, and the focus of our research, that is made clear. So the focus of our research is on the concepts, the theories, the principles, the models. Our focus is on that. Then the second thing is, our research is time consuming. The third part is, our research is open to scrutiny. We are going to place these researches in the form of working paper. We are going to have this in the form of research paper in the research journals. We are going to publish them in the form of book. So this is the difference. And considering these different aspects which are related with our academic research, we will have to see at the next stage that how this research that will be conducted, so that whatever we are conducting or whatever result we are getting, they should get published and it should be placed for larger audience to be read, evaluated, and the comments should be invited. So the purpose here is, in the brief I will tell you, the academic research is related to the different types of constructs, different type of concepts, theories, principles, and all that. And we are going to apply statistics of higher level, and we are going to place that the result of that research for the publication, scrutiny, evaluation, and all. Now you will say that, okay, what is the purpose then? The purpose here is that whatever academic researches we are going to conduct, and once they are going to be published in the journals, they are going to be published in the professional publications, then what will happen? This will be evaluated. The comments, the rejoinders, they will be coming on that. And on the basis of these publications, you will find that whenever the textbooks, they are being written, so time to time they are going to check. Those who are expert in that field, they will be checking what is the contemporary research going on and what is the position of a particular theory, and whether it is being criticized or whether it is being contradicted or complemented. They are going to check it. And if they find that there are differences in that, they will be saying that, okay, we are going to modify. So that's why what we do. In case of the textbooks, you will always find that if the reprint is there, okay, that is one. But it is the edition that is very much important. And in every edition, you will find there are modifications in the content of that particular book. Some part of the book they will be deleting, some part they are going to retain, but they have improved. How it is happening and how it is possible? This has been made possible with the help of academic research publications in the journals. Because those writers who are writing this research paper, the textbooks, they are consulting these publications, and on the basis of that, so what is this? It is going to increase the level of understanding, it is going to create additional knowledge, it is going to create additional information, and the channel through which it is going to the students, it is going to those who are learning, that channel is from the publication in the professional journals. So the academic journals. So this part is there. So the knowledge that whatever we are going to create with the help of academic research, finally they are going to be used by the students, the understanding, the knowledge that is going to increase. So the application part, whenever we are going to talk about that, the application side, we are going to have. See, I am giving you a very important one, very simple example. The theories related with atomic. Those who have studied chemistry at their +2 level or at any stage, they are knowing about Avogadro's hypothesis. So that was only a hypothesis which Avogadro could get published. But what has happened after that, Dalton, he has reconsidered these hypotheses, he has gone for the test, and he has confirmed that the hypothesis they were converted. So the Dalton theory related to the atomic side. So at some stage the hypothesis that remained hypothesis because that was not tested and that was not proved. But the other scientists, he had considered that hypothesis, so that was done by some other one, and then after it has come. So whatever we are doing in case of our lab, for example, in academics institution or the research lab, many things they have been left in between. But the knowledge has to be created and it should go further. They will have to be simply, what I want to say is that they will have to be documented first. And then after, if you have not completed it or if you could not get the result, there is no problem. But once you are documenting that I have tested this and I could find only this much, or I could not find anything, I have tested this, and I could not find anything. That itself is a research. In case of academics also we say that this is also a research, that you could not find anything. After conducting all this research, that is it. So in this case, what I want to say is that the academic research, it is not that it is irrelevant. Please don't consider that it is irrelevant. Whenever we are considering that which is more important, it is the rigor which is more important or the relevance is more important. It is the rigor in this case of academics that is more important. That's why what is happening here. Now see, there is a crisis of burnout. This is one example which has been mentioned and throughout it is being mentioned, that in organizational science research, our research techniques have become more sophisticated. Due to the reason for whatever we have discussed, our research techniques, they are more sophisticated, but they have become increasingly less useful for solving the practical problem. This is the another important aspect which we have to keep in mind, and it is a fact, it is a reality that we are focusing more on the research methodology, we are focusing more on the statistical tools and techniques, and we are focusing more on the sophistication, and they are not solving some practical problems. So that is also the fact. But the researchers which are going on in the academic institutions, they have to take care about the part which are important in case of the academic furtherance of the knowledge. Now see here, this was the background. Now about the research process, I think the other faculty member, they have also discussed about that. See, this research process which have been mentioned here, I have got 12 steps in this case. But in some books, you will find that these 12 steps, they have made it only in 6 steps. And in some cases, you will find that this 12 step is also not sufficient. They have this divided and subdivided. So they have gone up to 22 steps also. So, but the 12 steps which I am mentioning here, they are going to help you in conducting research. So, and I am talking about the academic research. So please take care about this. I am not talking about the business research because in that case, the situation is different. Academic researches, whatever we are conducting for the purpose of publication in academic journal, for the purpose of the PhD thesis, for the purpose of MPhil, for the purpose of conducting researches which are being financed by some institutions or organizations like the ICT, ICSSR and all that, or UGC. So the academic researches, whatever are being conducted, we are considering that. Academic research process. Now these 12 steps of academic research. So just I am giving you the 12 steps. As I have come to know that Professor Imamul Haq of the Department of Commerce, he has already discussed about the screening part and how to search for the research topic. So I will not be considering that. That's why I am having another idea which I would like to discuss with you, which will be giving you some further steps involved in the research. But see the 12 steps which are here of the research process. Identification of research topic, sources and screening. This step is special to academic research because here you are searching for the research topic, and searching for the research topic in itself is a type of research. No doubt, it is of, we call them that, okay, this is a part of your exploratory research. That means, okay, you are at the stage of searching the topic and screening those topics. So this is the first step in case of academic research. This step will not be there in case of business research because here they are not searching the topic. They are searching for the problem. And based on that, the problem, they will be identifying what they have to do and all that. So this is a special step, and this step has already been discussed with you. So I am not going to discuss any more. This first step, that is your identification of research topic. Okay. So the second, the literature review, method, content, and result. I will be focusing on this at the next stage because if the literature review part, what is to be done, how it has to be done, and what is the end result of it, what is it required, I would like to discuss with you in case of this, how we have to do that, and what steps we have to go for this literature review. So this is the second step in case of your academic research. Research design. In case of this research design, because when we discuss about the whole course of research methodology, we generally discuss the research design, but there are three type of design. So these the three type of, I think I have lost that slide. One is your exploratory research design, another one is descriptive research design, and the third one is causal research design. So that this exploratory research design is one where you are going to, it is unstructured in nature, and you are in search of some topic, you are in search of the initial stages, and you are going to search from the different sources. And so this is unstructured, it is not having complete clear direction, you are some ideas you are having, but you are going to conduct it. Even the literature review itself is the part of your exploratory research design. Then there is descriptive research design. Descriptive research design is one where you are going to describe the features, the nature of a particular phenomenon. So that is the descriptive, we call them the descriptive research design. Okay, for example, we are going to collect data from the market that who are our customer, and we are supplying, for example, the company that is called MG, this motor garage. MG now, this car is also flying on Indian road. You will be finding Hector and all the internet inside written on the right hand side and something like that. So suppose they want to know that who are the people purchasing our car, this the four-wheeler, then you will have to collect data. So who are the customers? So this is the description. Okay, where from have they bought it? Okay, this is the description. Okay, on which occasion they have bought it? They have bought it on the Diwali or Holi, or they have bought it on the occasion of marriage of their son or daughter. What is their occasion? Or they have purchased the people, those they have purchased at the time of their retirement, because sometimes the people they get at the retirement amount, good amount, so they say that okay, I should change. So this is the description. Who are purchasing, where they are living, what type of lifestyle they are having. So this is the descriptive research. And the causal research, where we are going to identify the reason behind it. So the causal research gives you answer to why I have purchased this. So it is not that where from I have purchased, why I have purchased. So the reason behind it you are going to consider. So that is the causal research. So basically there are three types of research, but under this causal research also we are having quasi type of research. We are having the research which is correlational in nature. We are having Latin square. So I am not going into that detail. Just brief idea what this research design is there. So that is the whole lot of discussion is there on that. I am not covering that. Research gap identification. So in case of academic research, it is very important. What have been identified, what have been researched, and what have not been researched. What have already been researched and what have not been researched, the difference between the two. We are going to identify that. What have not been researched, we have to identify. That is the gap. So how will we identify it? We will be identified with the help of what have already been researched. So first thing will be that we will have to check what have gone into the research. So we will have to go for the literature review and all that. So the purpose of literature review is basically this one, that we will have to identify the gap, the research gap. So this is there. We will have to we will have to establish the research objective. Now once you have identified the research gap, what are your objectives? So those objectives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points we are going to write down. About this objective, I would like to tell you one thing. Whenever we are going to write objective, in writing objective always take care, it should be actionable in nature. All the objectives, whenever it is going to be written, it should be actionable in nature. What is actionable? For example, to understand this, to analyze this, to evaluate this, to contradict this, to compare this. So what is this? To compare, to analyze, to evaluate, to understand. So these are the objectives. We are starting to write it. These are the actionable objectives. we want to understand. So understanding is the very basic thing. So we will have to write down. We are going to analyze. So analysis will be once you have understood. Without understanding, analysis will not be there. So what you have to do, you will have to check. Whenever you are going to write these objectives should be sequential in nature. It is not that, okay, you have written in the beginning, evaluation, analysis, and after that you are writing understanding. It will not work. To establish the research objectives, they will have to be the writing format, as I have told you, they should be actionable in nature. You will have to write in that particular format. Now see, we will have to decide, because based on this objective, we will have to decide the hypothesis. Hypothesis, what is this hypothesis? Very simple understanding about hypothesis is that it is a conjecture, it is an understanding, it is the relationship which we are establishing between two variables. That may be true or that may not be true. So we will be deciding based on that. Hypothesis, we are framing for the purpose of testing with statistical support. Hypotheses are the conjectures which should be tested with the help of data. Whether it is the qualitative data or it is quantitative data, that is another aspect. But hypotheses are the conjectures, they are the constructs which we are going to check with the help of data. And that hypothesis may be either proved, disproved, that is another important part. So based on your objective, we are going to decide about the hypothesis. Once you have decided about the hypothesis, then you will have to identify the information, its type and scope. What type of information will be required and what are the sources of that. So it may be the type of information may be qualitative, it may be quantitative. Hello? Any problem? Any problem? Okay. So identify information type and source, that is another step. Determine the methods of collecting data. Are you going to adopt this observation method, or are you going to collect data with the help of questionnaire? Are you sending the questionnaire by email, or are you going to send the questionnaire on the hard copy? What is the how are you going to collect that data? Are you going to collect data with the help of the face-to-face communication, or you are collecting with the help of this telephonic communication? So determine the methods of collecting data. How are you going to do that? This is another aspect. Design data collection form. So it may be a questionnaire, it may be a checklist, it may be an interview schedule, depending upon the type of research which you are conducting and the nature of your work. So anything that will be suitable, you will have to adopt that. So designing the data collection form. Determine the sample plan, because you are not going to collect data from each and every individual or the customer or the people who are concerned with that. So what you have to do, you will have to go for sampling. In case of sampling, there are a whole lot of theories related to sampling, probability sampling, non-probability sampling. In case of probability sampling, there are simple random sampling, there are stratified random sampling, there are many methods. Similarly, in case of this non-probability sampling, it is convenience sampling, judgmental sampling. There are 8 types of sampling techniques. So, and you will have to determine the sample size, how many people you are going to consult for that purpose. So this is another important step which is to be taken. You will have to collect data. So once you have decided about the sample, the type of sample, size of sample, then you will have to collect data from them, either with the help of telephone or with the help of email or with the help of your hard copy sending by mail, or directly collecting data from them. You are going to the customer, you are going to the people concerned, and then you are giving the questionnaire, and next morning you are going to collect, or next week you are going to collect. So data collection you will have to decide. You will have to analyze data, as we have told you that in case of academic research, the data analysis is very important. You will have to apply different type of statistics. And in case of statistics, as you know, first of all, we are going for the measure of central tendency. Mean is the most important calculation which you will always find. We are having SPSS as a package, and every 1 or 2 years you will find that this SPSS, they are improving. So the version of SPSS that you are going to use, with the help of that you will have to analyze. Then after you will be using different other type of the statistics on that. So mean, median, mode, standard deviation. Then after correlation, regression, and other type of statistics. Depending upon the type of data you have collected, they will have to be analyzed. So this is the another. Prepare and present the final research report. This is the last step. You will have to prepare and you will have to present the final research report. So in the form of working paper, in the form of research paper, in the form of PhD thesis, they will have to be reported. So this is the part which is there. So this is the brief idea about how are we going to conduct the research. All right. I am coming to the other aspect, and as I have told you that I am coming to the another part which is very, very important in case of our okay. The very basic part of our research when we are conducting these researches for the academic purposes. The steps for literature review. There are certain steps which are involved, and these steps, they have been identified based on how the students and how the research guides, they are helping their students. So based on that, this literature review part, that I am going to discuss with you. Now see here, literature review. What is literature review? Literature review is the idea behind this literature review is that whatever has been researched, we should have proper understanding about those researches. That means whatever is coming or whatever has been published in the form of either book or research paper or in any form of publication, that will have to be reviewed. So there used to be two terms in this case. One was literature survey and another is literature review. In case of literature survey, earlier what we used to do, we used to simply collect that, okay, this is the article written by this and this has been mentioned there, or this is the end result of that. And we used to say that, okay, it is the literature survey. That means you have done whatever is there. But literature review is of higher order. It is not simply the survey, but you will have to review the researches, whatever have been published. Now the question is that how are you going to review them? See, whenever any topic for research you are going to consider, then after taking into account this topic, the first step is that you will have to classify the topic, and based on that, major group of classification you will have to identify. See, in case of literature review, for example, you are doing research on Salesforce control system, for example. What is this Salesforce control system? The salespersons, they are working in the market, they are working in the field. They are not working in the offices. Naturally, they will have to be controlled. Otherwise, what will happen? They will be enjoying here and there, and in the evening they will be, or at the end of the week, they will be reporting that, okay, this much sale could be made possible and we could not make this sale. That will not work. So what we are doing, for the purpose of controlling the efforts of sales people, we are having certain tools. One tool is your quota. We are going to determine that a salesperson will have to sell this much quantity during a period of time. That is called quota. Where will he be selling? So he will be selling on a particular type of customer. And where they are living, so they will be living in some territory. So we are having this territory also. So sales territory, sales quota, they are the part of it. What if suppose we are conducting research on the Salesforce control system, Then what are the part of the control system? One is the quota, another one is the territory. And this quota we are not going to evaluate at the end of the year. In between also we are going to check whether he is in a position to achieve that quota or not. So what we are doing, we are also going to analyze to the sales analysis. So we are going to analyze the sales result for the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Now see, if you are conducting research on sales force control system, then there will be three variables which are there. One is the sales quota, and once you are coming to the sales quota, then how have you determined the sales quota? This will be one. How are you implementing that sales quota? That is another one. How far the salesperson is related with the sales quota? That will be another one. So first of all, the major classification will be that the sales force control system, if you are going to apply, then in that case, one component will be the sales quota. Other component will be the sales territory, to the group of customer whom we have placed our salesperson, or the geographical area, for simple understanding, where we have placed our salesperson. So how far he is working there. So the another component of this topic will be that you have to know, you will have to conduct your research related with the sales territory. The third component will be that you are going for sales analysis. So how are you doing this analysis? Are you doing this analysis based on the quarter? This will be one. Are you going to analyze based on the type of product which the customer salesperson is selling? Are you going to analyze on the basis of the type of market, or the type of, take for example, type of market, if suppose, so are they selling to the supermarket? Are they selling to the retailers? Are they selling to the wholesaler? So in that case, the territory that will have to be divided in that format. Then you are going to analyze it. So this analysis, how are you going to do that? So the one topic, the sales force control system, then how many subtopics or the major grouping you have done? One is sales quota, another one is sales territory, and the third one is sales analysis. You may be going for the further also. So the other tool which we are applying in case of sales force control system, that is sales audit, but I am not going to talk about it. So major grouping, once you have decided, okay, we are going to conduct research on the sales force control system. So these are the different components of this control system. So major group we are going to identify. The major group of classification we will have to make. Then the subgroup of classification. Take for example, sales quota. So first of all, the sales quota that will have to be set. So what is the procedure of sales quota? The subgroup we are going to consider. The procedure of setting sales quota. So there are 6-7 type of sales quota, so setting procedure. So this is the subgroup. We will have to identify on which group we are going to focus, which group we will be considering for the purpose of our study. So subgrouping we are also going to do. So whenever we are going for this literature review, first thing is that see what is your topic, one. Then after see what are the components of that particular topic, second one. Then after within that component, major grouping, what are the subgrouping which you have to consider. Now see, the researchers, whenever you are going to a study, you will find that there are some researches which have been conducted in some other market or international study. Some studies they have been conducted in Korea, some in China, some in Japan, some in USA. So international studies, some studies they have been conducted within the country also. So your local or domestic or the Indian studies. So the classification, if you are finding that this study has been conducted on international basis and the study has also gone in the study has been conducted within the country also, then the classification can be made on the international and Indian. So the literature review, whenever we are going to conduct, we are going to first of all identify major group, subgroup, and for that purpose, it may be possible we are going to classify on the basis of the international study or the Indian study, depending upon the nature. Now see here, identification, very important part is this. you will have to identify the journals. Okay. Take for example, I am concerned with the marketing side. So the journal, in case of this marketing, the journal, the most important journal, that is Journal of Marketing, published from Chicago, USA. This is from American Marketing Association. So the highest level journal for academic purpose, that is the Journal of Marketing. There are other journals also, that is not the only journal. There are Journal of Marketing Science. Okay. So you will have to identify which journal. Take for example, the same example I am going to consider, the Salesforce control system. And I am taking it, okay, this is a Salesforce control system of pharmaceutical companies, take for example, in India. If suppose this is the topic, Salesforce control system of pharmaceutical companies in India. This is the topic which I have identified. So here there are three components of it. Salesforce control system, so there will be sales quota, sales analysis, sales territory. Okay, it is related with the pharmaceutical company. So I will be concentrating more on pharmaceutical companies. And the third component is that we have to conduct research in India, so we will have to consider in this case. So whenever we are going for this literature review, my first focus will be on these three variables: sales quota, sales territory, and sales analysis. Okay. Then after, the second one will be that it is a pharmaceutical company. It is not related with fertilizer. It is not related with cement. It is not related with grocery and FMCG products. It is not related to that. So we will be focusing, at the end we will have to focus on that. The studies, they are being conducted in international market also, in the national market. So the journals, they will have to be identified. The Journal of Marketing, which I have told you, this is American Journal of Marketing Science. That is another very important journal. If suppose I am conducting research on consumer behavior, then in that case, the Journal of Consumer Behavior is a separate journal. If suppose I am conducting research in advertising, so in that case, Journal of Advertising itself is there. If I am conducting research in the advertising research, so there is another journal in the name of Journal of Advertising Research. You will find that. Nowadays, we are finding that another special area that is coming up, and it is the supply chain management. So you will find there are journals which are specifically related with the supply chain. So the supply chain management, Journal of Supply Chain, we are having that. If suppose you are conducting research on in the general management area, okay, the functional area of management, planning, organizing, coordination, direction, communication, control, and all that, then in that case, Journal of Administrative Sciences, the Journal of Academics, ASQ, for example, Administrative Science Quarterly, they are going to deal with that. So identification of journal, that is very important. Now take for example the same sales management topic. In sales, we are having very important journal, that is a Journal of Personal Selling and Sales Management. This is also published from US, Journal of Personal Selling and Sales Management. This is completely focused on selling, sales management. Journal of Marketing will also be having few articles on sales management. There is no doubt about it. One or two articles every journal you will find. Journal of Marketing. They are focusing on sales management. But at the same time, they are having articles on consumer behavior. They are also having articles on the distribution channel. They are having on advertising. Advertising is many things. So you have to identify the journal identification. That is another important part. That we are from now, due to this internet, this facility is available. You are going to search, you will be getting it. Some of them they are paid, some of them they are open. So if they are paid, naturally you will have to pay for that. Or if they have been paid by the UGC and they have given the access to your university, then in that case you can access through your university and its library, its channel. So that is another area. But the journals, they are available. Hard copy of journals in India, there are many hard copies which are available in India, which they are finding. So in this case, the identification of journal, that is another important part. Now, identification of research papers. Now see, once you have identified the journal, Then after you will have to identify the research paper. Sometimes you will find that the research papers, they are directly connected with you. Some of the research papers, they are directly connected, they are directly related. But at the same time, there are some which are distantly related. Say for example, in case of this, you have identified the journal and you have gone for, take for example, this Salesforce control system. Then in that case, some research papers you are finding where the direct, it is written the Salesforce control system related with where they have not mentioned about the sales territory, sales quota, nothing like that. So a comprehensive study they have made. You will say that okay, it is distantly related. Or some journals they have this, they have see some topics are there which you are finding that they have been focused on the distribution channel. And in that case, the role of salesperson they have analyzed. So if we will say that okay, they are distantly related, they are not directly related, they are not closely related. Salesperson, their control, they have been studied, but it is the minor part of that. That is not the major part. So some are distantly related. We have to identify that. They are not useless for us. They are also important, and we consider. So identification of research papers which are distantly related, but we are more concerned with the papers which are closely related, which are very close to our topic. So if suppose some research papers are there which are close to our topic, for example, the Salesforce control system in pharmaceutical industry. Suppose it is not in pharmaceutical industry, it is on the salesperson working in the cement industry, or salesperson working in the FMCG product, working on the FMCG product. So they are closely, the topic is closely related, but it is not on the same industry. So industry is different, of course, but the idea related with the sales quota, sales territory, sales analysis, sales audit, if they are there, we will say that okay, they are closely related, only difference is of the industry. So it is not related with the industry, of course, but the area of study, because our study is related with the academic side. So the academic component in this case is your sales quota, sales territory, and the sales analysis. So the academic side, they are closely related. We will be considering that okay, they are closely related, but they are not related with the industry. So we will have to use that research with caution, but that will be reported. Now see here, the process of reading, see very important part is here. What you have to study, because this is a review. This is not the survey that okay, something is there and you have written it and you are going to consider that. It is not the survey. It is the review part which is there. So in this case, what are you going to do? Read the abstract carefully. You will always find there is an abstract. And some journals, they are giving abstract in quite good detail. So the abstracts, they will have to be read. Sometimes what the researchers they are doing, they are not reading the paper. Full length paper, they will not read. Only abstract they are going to read, and whatever content is there, they are going to put in their literature review. That is not the fair way of conducting research, because and that will also not be giving you the idea that how this research has been developed and what are the different integrities of this type of research. You will have to read the full paper. Check the first two paragraphs. Now see here. In case of these two paragraphs, when he has started writing about that, it may be they have written introduction. That will depend on the journal, whatever you have consulted. So the first two paragraphs, they are very important. They generally talk about the central theme of the paper. They have more references for one a small conceptual idea. If you are going to see the total paper, you will find that for one sentence, they will be writing 9-10 references. Because the idea is so general, so simple, so direct, and so many people they have mentioned about that in the beginning when you are going to write down, so they have written it. This is helping you. Why I have mentioned it here? Because once you are finding that on some basic theme, there are 5, 6, 10 references which have been given, you are lucky. Why? Because you will have to search for those references. Go to the end part of this article, you will find the references, check those references, go to those journals, your literature review that is going to increase. So because now due to this digitalization and availability of information, we say that in case of PhD thesis work, 250, we in our university, in our department mainly, we say that 250 research papers, they should be quoted. Then only we will say that, okay, there is a literature review that has been done in a good manner. That's why generally we give this 6 months, minimum 6 month time we give to the scholar for conducting this literature review. More than that also, but minimum is 6 months, which we give as a supervisor, we are doing. So they have more references for one small conceptual idea. These references will be helping you in collecting additional information, additional data from the sources. Now see, read the literature review of that. See, every research paper that will also have research literature review. Read that literature review very carefully. What type of or what researches they have quoted. So you will find they have written within the bracket the name of the researcher, the period of research, and that reference you will find at the end in the references category. So read the literature review of that research paper. Very important part, because after reading this literature review, you will be getting idea that okay, in what manner the research has been conducted. Check the gap mentioned. The basic purpose of any literature review, whether you are writing for PhD thesis or for the research paper, the objective of the literature review is here. That is the gap identification. Check the gap. So how he has mentioned the gap. Once you will read the literature review part, it may be 2 pages, and then after you will find that they have mentioned the research gap. Maybe they have given the point also 1, 2, 3, 4. Based on that, you will have to proceed further. Carefully read the objective. Very important part in case of the research paper. Carefully read the research, the objectives of the study. Now see, in one research paper, there may be 4 or 5 objectives. All objectives are not for you, but maybe one or some. All objectives, they may not be related to your topic. 1 or 2 objectives of that particular paper will be related to your topic. You have to concentrate only on that. Because those which are not related to you and the data they have been collected, they have been analyzed in this paper, but that is not related, or that instantly you will be considering that okay, it is not going to help me. Forget about that, leave it there. Concentrate, because don't forget, don't leave the topic, whatever the topic on which you are conducting research. Always consider that, keep that in your mind. Remember your topic as you are remembering your name. The topic should be remembered by you as a researcher as you are remembering your name. So anyone is asking your name, you will not take even second in telling them. It should be just like that. So that whenever you are evaluating, it should come in your mind, okay, this is related, this is not related. Identify that which is close to your topic. Only those objectives they will have to be concentrated. Then the most important part of the academic research is understanding of research methodology. See here, why I have mentioned it, the research methodology part, because the rigor says that if you have conducted research, or if somebody has conducted research with one methodology, you should conduct with the other methodology, or you should conduct with the same methodology, and then check what is the result coming. So the research methodology, whatever you are applying, that is very important. And understanding of this the research methodology, that is also important, because in conducting research, generally we find that understanding of this research methodology is not there with the research candidates. So why? Because there are some who are not interested, or there are some who are not very much comfortable. I don't say interested. They are not very much comfortable with the statistical tools and techniques. So as a student, if they are coming, they should understand what is the methodology, what type of statistics have been applied, and based on that, what results is there. So the most important part of academic research is understanding of the research methodology adopted by the researcher. It will improve your research design, it will improve your sampling, it will improve your the hypothesis and its testing. All these parts, they are the part of your methodology. This is. Pay attention to these aspects: research design, exploratory, descriptive, causal, experimental, whatever. Primary or secondary data, whatever has been collected, so you will have to pay attention to them. What type of a scale they have used? If suppose they have gone for the interval scale or ratio scale, So what type of scale they have used, Likert scale they have used, it is 5-point Likert scale, 7-point Likert scale, what type of scale is there, or it is simply dichotomous scale, or it is the nominal scale which is being used. Depending upon that, the statistics will also be applied. So what type of scale they have used for the purpose of collecting data, that is another important thing which we have to take care. Sampling technique, very important, is because we are having different type of sampling. So probability sampling or non-probability sampling, which type of sampling that has been applied. Because if somebody has used some method of sampling and you are going to use same method, okay, it is all right. If you are going to use some other method of sampling because you are comfortable with that or you know about it, that can also be made. And thereafter we will be checking what is the difference in the result. So the sampling technique, what have been done. What is the sample size? Very important part is this. What is the sample size? 250, 230. What is the sample size? How they have calculated the sample? What was the time period when the data were collected? So that is another important part which we have to mention. Place from where the data were collected. It was collected from the metropolitan city or a small town, or it was the B class city or C class city, or it was collected from the rural area, it was collected from UK, USA, China, Australia, or it was collected from Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Burma. So where from have this data they have been collected, that will have to be mentioned. See, the very important component is this, which have to be mentioned. The statistical tools which have been applied, or the models which have been used in this research paper. Mostly you will find a statistical test like chi-square test, t-test, ANOVA, correlation, regression, modeling like the structure equation modeling, conjoint analysis, custom, mainly multivariate analysis, because at present what we are finding, because the statistical packages they are available, so the multivariate analysis that is helping us in getting these information. So this part is there, we are considering. Now I am coming to is the interpretation and the result of the data collected and analyzed. In what manner they have interpreted and what is the result of that the data collected and how they have concluded that. So the conclusion part. This is giving you the broader idea how you have to go through the process of reading and reviewing the research paper. Reading and reviewing the research paper. Final stage of this research paper review that should include, that is coming now, what will be finally written, because you have already read it. Maybe you have read it 2 times, 3 times, because you could not understand in first time. So you have gone through it for 2 times, 3 times. So after that, but what end result you are going to write down in your literature review, that part is here. The end result of all research papers will be written in the following format. Generally 4 to 5 things we are checking. One is the objective of the study. You will have to write the author this, year this, the paper, you have not write the name of the paper, have conducted a study with the objective this. This objective should be related with your topic, always keep in mind, because all the objectives you are not going to write, which I have already mentioned. Important hypothesis which is related with your objective and the topic, which you have already reviewed. Important hypothesis, because there are many hypotheses which he has tested. Some hypotheses you consider that they are the dominant hypothesis, or the combination of the hypothesis, whatever is there, you are going to write down that. So few hypotheses you may be. If there is no hypothesis, no problem, forget about it. But if there is hypothesis, some mention of that should also be there. Method of data collection, which I have already told you that how he has collected data. In this case, you will have to apply what is the sampling technique, what was the sample size, what was the method of data collection. They have collected with the help of this survey monkey, or they have collected by visiting the places, or how they have done that. So that will also have to be mentioned. Very important component is the sample size, the type of sampling, the method of data collection. Then they will have to do the research design. It may be only 2 to 3 sentences, but they will have to be written. So the final written form that should have these different components. The statistical tools applied or the model used. So what the statistics they have applied, it is the chi-square test, it is the regression, it is the panel regression, it is the logic regression, it is the probit regression, what type of, because there are so many. So the what type of regression they have used, whether it is the cluster or it is the conjoint analysis they have applied, it is the structure equation which they have applied, what are the independent, dependent variables which have been used, and what is the result of the study, they will have to be mentioned. So this is the part which is there. Now the end part of it. Your comment on the work, highlighting the aspects covered in the study, and more important than this is what has not been covered. What he has covered in this study, that has already come with the help of your data collection methods and the sampling techniques and everything. But you will have to check what your topic says and how much this particular research paper that has covered. This is the research gap which can be identified with the help of these two. So your comments on the work, highlighting the aspects covered in the study, and more important than this is what has not been covered. That is the research gap which you will have to identify. And this should be written. This is the part which has to be written. This is the part which you have to undertake. But the final result that should go in your thesis, that should go in your research paper, that should go in your working paper, it is these 6 points. Sometimes even 4 points that will also work depending upon the nature of the research which you have reviewed. But these are the aspects in case of the literature review which you have to do. So this is one. And briefly I am going to, because I have got some time, I think it's a very short time. One more thing which I would like to take up, if I am having this, okay. See here, most of us are conducting research, and as an academician, either in the university system or in the colleges, we are going to guide the research scholars. Once we are having this idea how the research is being conducted, and I have talked about only the literature review side, how are you going to guide your candidates, those who have joined you as a research scholar? So here it is a brief idea about that, which I am going to, I will run through it because the time is very short. I have planned for that, and it may be of help to you, because in future you will have to guide, most of you may be guiding also, so that is going to help you how to go about that. So it is not inclusive. Just take for example, just after admission, once he has got this admission, so the tentative things, they are like this. It is tentative. You will have to make the chapter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this chapterization, that will change at the later stage. There are certain standard chapter also. For example, introduction is 1 chapter. Literature review is the 2nd chapter. Methodology is the 3rd chapter. Data collection is the 4th chapter. Data analysis is the 5th chapter. And the data, the end result is the result, summary, conclusion, that is the 6th chapter. Finished. But if you are writing the example which I have given to you, that the sales force control system in fertilizer industry. So here the industry has been mentioned. So what is expected in this case? A brief introduction, a brief idea about the industry, that should also come up. So the profile of the industry, that may be forming 1 more chapter. In this case, that will become 7 chapters. So the tentative chapterization that can be made, but this will not be final. You will have to modify. You can adjust, you can change according to it. Comprehensive literature review, which I have already discussed with you. That the comprehensive literature review that will have to be made. Identification of the research gap and the need for the study problem identification statement, that will be, you will have to check. So this is the next step which is there. Then objective, you will have to identify what objectives you are going to have, and you have to write down, okay, I have already talked about that, how to write this objective. Breakup, sometimes we are writing 4 or 5 objectives, but the breakup of objectives are also possible. So whether you are going to have the breakup of objectives or not, you have to decide. Then you will have to develop the hypothesis. So that is this is the time-consuming process. Objective identification, breaking up of the objectives, then the development of the hypothesis, which is a time-consuming process. Then you will have to develop the questionnaire or the instrument, which will be going for the pilot study. Now see here, I have mentioned it that if needed, if the questionnaire or instrument is needed or the pilot study, then only the other part is there. So the star I have put it for some other purpose. But the questionnaire or instrument, because this is the most important part of your research, and this also takes longer time. It is not that you will be able to design a scientifically designed questionnaire or develop a scientifically designed questionnaire within short period. It requires time and it requires complete thinking, because research is the brain powered worker's job. So it requires thinking. In this case, many things are there which are the part of this to the questionnaire design. Instruments, the reliability and validity, that will have to be checked if you have gone for the your own design questionnaire. If you have taken the research question from the questionnaire from some other researcher, and its reliability and validity has already been checked, then in that case you can skip that also, because the reliability, validity, the score you will have to simply mention that this questionnaire. Generally, in case of psychological studies, we find that the questionnaires they have been developed, or the instruments they have been developed, or we say that the inventory, the individual inventory, they have been developed by some, and they have already checked the validity, reliability, and all. In that case, you have not to. Otherwise, if you are developing at your own, then the reliability and validity of this questionnaire, that will have to be checked. Sample size, you will have to determine how are you going to collect data. So that is another one. You will have to decide about that. Then the data, how are you going to tabulate that data? Tabulation, data analysis and packages to be used. Which type of package you are going to use? It is MOS, it is IBM, sorry, it is SPSS, it is eViews, which type? Chapter scheme modification, as I have told you. That chapter scheme you have already done at the beginning, but now it can be modified. So if needed, then description and presentation of the work, cross-referencing, then result, conclusion, managerial implication, recommendation, and direction for future research. These are the aspects which have to be covered. And some of them, they will not be coming at that time. Now see, now the requirement in case of researchers, PhD level work, the candidate will have to go for pre-submission. Okay. So in that case, whenever he is going for pre-submission as a supervisor, you will have to take care of these different things. Chapter scheme modification, if it was not done earlier, if suppose you find that okay, it is to be there. Literature survey, mainly the number of studies cited, how many research studies, relevant research studies, we say that okay, it should be relevant research studies, it should be cited. You have to check that. Linkages, in case of this gap, objective, hypothesis, instrument, data analysis, description, conclusion, suggestion, and direction for, because this is completely linked with each other. So the objective should be linked with the hypothesis, you have to check. From hypothesis, you have developed a questionnaire, you have to check that whether this question is checking that hypothesis or not. Data analysis, you will have to see what type of data analysis you have made, which type of test is there. With the help of this data analysis, what is the conclusion? Whether this conclusion has been written correctly or not, you have to check that. Suggestions and direction for future research, whatever he has mentioned, whether it is relevant or irrelevant, you have to check. Pattern of referencing, this is very important in case of thesis and the research paper. See, when you are going to see the referencing side, there are many methods of referencing. The most popular is your APA format. So this APA format, this American Psychological Abstract. So this APA format is the most common which we are using, and there are versions of it, because due to these changes in the research and the research technology, they have also changed over time. You will have to see whether the references they have been made correctly or not as a supervisor, checking and verifying the logical sequencing of the model. So whether this model there is a logical sequencing or not, because the different type of arrows you will be finding, different type of data you will be finding on those head of the arrow, on the body of the arrow. So you will have to check that. Now, This is also very important. You will have to check the language. If really in need of correction and modification, so language is very important, because once you are placing this thesis for the purpose of evaluation and languages, generally you will find that the evaluator, they are commenting on the language. The language is not readable, number one. The language is not lucid, number two. The language is not up to the academic standard. These are the different negative comments which you will find. So you will have to check the language. Grammatically mistake, the grammatical mistakes, they should be identified and corrected. This is the job of the supervisor. He will have to check that, because this gives a negative impact or negative idea about the supervisor, and generally they say that, okay, supervisor has not taken proper care. A rough form of the thesis is almost complete in all respects, because it is going for pre-submission. So it should be complete in all respects, almost complete. Something missing here and there, that will work. Otherwise, it should be complete. One paper based on the thesis must be published, because as you know, this is the requirement, or accepted for publication in a refereed management journal before pre-submission. The letter related to that, or the copy related to that should be there with the pre-submission thesis. So this is that. At the time of submission, you will have to check. And what are the things which you have to check in this case? The thesis should be complete in all respects, must contain the signature of on the certificate, and the candidate signature on the declaration, and preface along with the date and place. It is advised to put signature in blue ink, so that it should not look similar to photocopy. So generally we are advising, we are also doing in this. Content with page number. Acknowledgements, very important. See what happens in case of acknowledgements. The students generally write acknowledgement, but it should be plural, because they are going to acknowledge many, including their parents, wives, and children also. So that is the important part. We have to check whether it is acknowledgement or it is acknowledgements. Generally mistakes are there. Preface, if it is required, you can place it. Otherwise, nowadays we are skipping. We are not asking for the preface. List of abbreviation, list of figure, list of table with page number. They will have to be mentioned. At the time of submission, you will have to check them. Acknowledgement, preface, okay, abbreviation, this is. Chapters and their sequencing, you will have to check their references at the end of chapter or thesis. Sometimes we are asking for the chapter references. Sometimes we are saying that, okay, only bibliography, that will also work. So that will depend on the supervisor, how he wants to do that, and the university system, what they are doing. Then appendices, including questionnaire, bibliography, and suppose certain things which you wanted to be placed, they are important, but they are not forming the body of the research. We are going to place it here. Plagiarism check, this is very important nowadays, from the university library, modifications if needed. So 12%. Now the question here is that plagiarism check, you are doing with which package? Generally, in our university, we are going for Turnitin. We are not going for Urkund, because in Urkund is not giving the true picture. So here in our university, Turnitin, and the report related to that, which will be signed by both the candidate and the supervisor. So that is another. Photocopying and binding of the thesis, no doubt, this will be done by the candidate, but he will have to do that. 5 copies or 7 copies or 9 copies, depending upon what the requirement of the university. You will have to, few additional copies they will have to be made, because sometimes in transit the thesis they are lost, and they are asking that, okay, if you are having the additional thesis, please give. So always emphasize that, okay, if 5 is the requirement by the university, it should be 7. The candidate that should produce that. Content on the title page and the inner page. That is very important. What should be written on the title page? The abstract, desired number of copies to be duplicated, as I told you, form to be filled along with the photograph, because this is also important. You will have, because as a supervisor, you will have to sign that form. So in that case, you will have to check that all the details required, they are filled or not. Now, typing, binding, this is also, the thesis should be typed in 12 font size, New Times Roman. It should be printed on A-type quality size paper. It should be margin, 1 in margin, that should be on both the sides. The table should start from the first page. The table may be designated, designed for printing on the landscape. If does not, then it may be converted to the portrait. It should be soft bound. Now hard bound pieces, in most of the universities, that is not allowed, because they say that it is the wastage of natural resources. So the soft bound pieces, they are being accepted. cover page of the thesis should have university monogram on the top. The title of the thesis should be printed after that. Name of the candidate should be mentioned after the statement of the topic. Then the name of the and the designation of the supervisor should be printed on the title page of the thesis, and this should be the name of the department, faculty, university, and the year that should be entered on the page. The title page should be replicated on the inner soft page of the thesis cover also. One abstract of the thesis should also be to accompany with each thesis. So this is that. So abstract may be of 15-20 pages, and which will be encompassing the major aspects of the thesis. So this is there. The data collection out. So this is now. Thank you very much. Any question, either related with the literature review or guidance of the thesis or the academic and business research?
Good morning, sir. What is the role of literature review in the business research, sir? There
Yes.
is necessary.
Yes, please. I am not. You are not audible,
What is the
sir.
role of
Thank you very much, sir. If participants have any questions, you please
Yes, yes.
can ask the question.
There was one question.
Good morning,
coming.
sir.
Yes, sir.
What
Yes.
is the role of review in the case of business research? There is necessary.
Okay. No. In case of business research, because business research is basically meant for solving the problem. And in business research, we are not going to take that much longer time. It should be the work, the research that should be finished within shorter period of time. So in that case, literature review, that is of no use to us. What is needed in case of business research is that we will be checking the internal data of the organization. If you have to conduct business research, then the data related with the organization, that will have to be collected. For example, if suppose sale is coming down, okay, so what will I do? I will be going to the company, or I will be asking the company to supply me the sales data. So they will be giving me the consolidated sales data, this will be one. And along with that, they will also be giving me that this product was sold this quantity and this was the total revenue which I could generate in this quarter, this month. So the whole lot of data which are used in case of business research, in this case, will be internal to the organization. Literature review, that is not of any use in case of business research, because we are not concerned in business research, we are not concerned with the theory, we are not concerned with the model, we are not concerned with the concept. We are concerned with the problem and the solution. So business research will not be going for the literature review, sir. It will be that the review will be of the data related with a particular phenomena which we want to study. If, for example, if suppose the civil engineer of this Gaiman company, they are leaving the organization, then in that case, what type of data they will ask for? They will say that, okay, the researcher will ask that, okay, I want the people, those who have joined during this last 3 years, okay, what was their qualification, what was their experience, how much salary have you paid, what type of benefits have you given, and who are the people leaving your organization? Those who are, they are having 5 years and more than that as an experience, or those people who have just joined from the campus and they have left your organization. So the data in this case, what will happen? The business research data that will be coming from within the organization itself. The secondary data from the organization, they will have to be collected, not the literature review.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
any other question, please?
Good morning. Yes, sir. Sir, what is the approximate number of questions in a questionnaire? Should be there in
Okay.
a questionnaire.
See that there is no limit to that. There are two things which we have to keep in mind. The area in which you are conducting your study. This is one. We are concerned with the business research, business studies and commerce. So generally you will find that only 1 or 2, sometimes 3 questionnaires are being used. I am taking questionnaires.
Okay.
But in most of the cases, we find that only one questionnaire we are using. Now see, what are the different variables which you are studying? Number one. Or based on those variables which you are studying, how many hypotheses have you developed? The most important part is because the purpose of this hypothesis is that you are going to check this hypothesis with the we are going to check this hypothesis with the help of data. So the hypothesis that becomes important. We are checking with the help of data. So how many hypotheses you have developed, number one. For checking this hypothesis, whether it is going to be rejected or it is not going to be rejected, what number of questions should be asked? Try to understand this. What are the hypotheses which you have developed? For one hypothesis, is there requirement of only one question? Or for testing one hypothesis, there is a requirement of checking with the help of 2 or 3 or 4 questions. That's why what we do, sometimes in case of marketing generally, we are going to subdivide the hypothesis. We are going to subdivide. And these subdivisions are generally on the age, it is on the income, it is educational qualification, is the place of living, rural, urban. So we are going to hypothesize on the basis of that also. So the number of items in a questionnaire, that will depend on the hypothesis whatever you have developed. Generally, we say that in case of PhD level work, because PhD level work is somewhat major one. So in case of PhD level work, maximum, because the time taken by the respondent, that will also have to be seen. Who are your respondents? If the respondents are the chief executives of the company, then in that case the questions will be of different type, and nature and number, that will also be different, because we will not be going to give them 50 or 60 items questionnaire. They will not do this. What they will do, they will ask their executive assistant, they will ask some other manager, and they will fill the questionnaire on his behalf. That will not be useful. So we will have to see. There are many variables which you have to consider. First one is your hypothesis. For checking, for testing one hypothesis, how many questions are required? If for one hypothesis, one question is sufficient, you can go by that. But up to maximum, we say generally that 50 questions, 50 item questionnaire, that should be maximum. Why? Because no one is going to give you 2 hours time to fill this up. You will also have to see whether are you sending by mail, or are you sending or are you collecting by yourself, or you have implied, or you have taken help from some other surveyor who are going to help you. So that part we will have to consider. So the number of items, there is no hard and fast rule, but in general we find that when you are going to collect data, you will have to see who are your respondents, how many questions they will be comfortably, with sincerity, with dedication, and with complete understanding of the question, they can respond. So these are the things which you have to get. That's why we are, whenever we develop this questionnaire, what we do, we are going for the pilot testing. And there is one comment which we are generally asking, that please comment on, number one, the time consumed in responding that question. On understanding the question itself. Your comment on the ambiguity, because sometimes you are understanding the same question in some manner, other person is understanding in the other manner. So the ambiguity. So whenever we are conducting this pilot study, is important, and we generally go for that. That is basically meant for this. They will be helping you in understanding that, okay, how many questions they will be suitable. The variables identified, the independent, dependent variable, hypothesis, whatever you have designed, and for checking hypothesis, how many questions they will be required. They are the guiding force for deciding how many questions they should be there in our questionnaire. There is no hard and fast rule for that. It is on the judgment of the supervisor and candidate and the topic, whatever is under study.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, on behalf of HRDC Maulana Azad National Urdu University and all the participants, I thank you very much, sir, for your very useful and interesting presentation. Your presentation was really very lucid and the explanation was very clear, sir. Really, participants are very happy with your presentation. We have wonderful remarks in the chat box, sir.
Thank
This
you.
presentation was totally from a different perspective. You have very beautifully explained every aspect, right from importance of reading a paper and understanding research methodology, and also significance of both academic research as well as business research. I once again thank you very much, sir, and thank you
sir.
for sparing your precious time and enriching us with your knowledge, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir. Thank
for patiently listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dear participants, just within, we'll have a small break of 5 minutes, and after that we'll have a session. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
How many minutes break you want? 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
Sorry for taking longer time because I have
No,
taken
no,
20
no, sir, no,
minutes.
sir, no,
That should be
sir.
nice.
We enjoyed it, sir.
Sir, I just have a doubt. Can I ask?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, nowadays,
There is
can
one
I
doubt,
ask?
sir.
No, I am here. No
Sir
problem.
is there.
Ask question.
Sir is there.
Okay,
Please.
okay, sir. Nowadays, there are many fake journals. Whether it
Ah.
is worth taking the literature review from those journals?
No.
And
See,
how to identify such journals, sir?
yes, see, there are journals which are being published. First of all, check the nature of the journal. They will be writing, it is peer reviewed, blind peer reviewed. This is and it has got the impact factor this much. See, in India, for the last 10 years, we find that the government and the research community, academicians also included, they are asking for the impact factor of the journal, and due to that, what the government of India has done, the UGC has identified the journals which have been included in their care list. So if you are collecting data from our country in a particular on a particular topic, first of all go to the UGC care list. Sometimes what they do, they are also dropping some journals. They were there on the care list, now they are not there. But the list is somewhere they have already placed, which have been deleted from the list or which are not there. It is better that to go to that. But in case of that care list also, you will find some journals, they are not up to their standard. So those journals which are being accepted, which have been recognized, which are widely quoted, they should be accepted for the purpose of literature review. So in this case, once you will find, take for example, if suppose you have got the journal of marketing, okay, and some topic they have been mentioned there, and you are finding that on this topic, this particular article has been quoted by many researchers, and they have been published in different journals also. So those journals where they have been published, they can be accepted. Google Scholar is another one. You can check with the help of this Google Scholar whether they are listed or there or not. Then the ResearchGate is also there. You can check from there in case of that. But in Indian cases, this is the journal of this UGC care list. In international, the different specified fields are there, and the people in that particular area, they know, they understand. Take for example, if you are conducting research in finance, so in India, the journal, the Finance India, this is a very important journal in the area of finance. But at the same time, there are journals which are being published from the ICFI, so they are also publishing it. There are many journals which are being quoted widely, so you can accept those journals. All right.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.